So, as part of the work process administration, we have discussed about the dialog work process, update, enqueue, background, message server, gateway, spool. Spool is for the printers. These are the some basics we discussed. So, along with this one, we also discussed about the SM04, right? AL08, all list of all logged on users, right? SM04. So, list of users, list of logged on users list. So who are logged into the particular application server. So we can check in the so SM04 transaction code here. SM04 transaction code here. We check it here, right? So then after that, so we have discussed about the so AL08, that's one, and also to run the reports SA38 or SE38 transaction codes, we have to use it to run the reports or programs. During the background job administration side, we discussed to run the reports or programs, we have to use the SA38 or SE38. So SE11 to SE16 is for the tables view, to viewing the tables data. Suppose if you want to view the table data, so we can just check the SE11 or SE16. Suppose table database level, the tables are exist at database level. So if you want to see the tables data, if you want to view the tables data, then we can go to the SE11 or SE16 transaction code. We can put the table name, right? We can just put the table name here. So you can see the all the tables data and everything. We can see it here. The tables data. So we can see it here. So if you go to the CD, HD, ER, so then if you go some other example, one table, the change document table here. Then click on the contents, click on the contents tab here. So if you see the number of entries, 696999 tables here. So you can see the 699 tables are exist here, right? So it's kind of change document table, means whatever we do SAP level, there is a associated one table is there, associated one table entry in the database level, one table is there. So application knows, this SAP knows in which table it should go and store the data. So that kind of tables, viewing the table data, you can just go to the SE11 or SE16. So there you can just fill the tables data. What is the entries are there in the table? We can see the all the tables data and everything. We can see it here. That is called the tables data here, right? That is called the tables data. We can view it here in the CD, HD, SE11 or SE16. Not only any table data, we can view it in this transaction codes. If you want to run the reports, if you want to write the report, if you want to change the reports and everything, that will be done by the developers. You can see it in the SA38 or SE38, do these two transaction codes. This is the local logged on users, global logged on users list here, right? So some ST22, SM21, these transaction codes also we discussed, right? So apart from that, SMLG, logon groups creation, that is required for the message server. So this one we discussed. Today, we'll start about the next topic is called the after the work process administration, that is called the client administration. Client administration part here. So what is mean by client administration? First of all, what is client? Client is a one of the business entity. Client is a one of the business entity where you want to store the your business data, where you want to run the business, you need a client. So which means if you want to run your business, you need a client. Client is a one of the entity, business entity. If you want to run the, we want to store your business data, so definitely you need a client in SAP system, right? So which client? What is the naming convention of the client? Number always starts with the 000 to 999. It's a line of 3 digits number. Client number is a 3 digits number. So it starts with the 000 to 999, 3 digits number. But as part of the installation, we will always get the two clients, 000 001, two clients, we will get it out. These are the default clients and we will call it as the master client. Why? Because it's a master data available in this master client. So that's why it's a master clients or super clients or default clients, which contains the default data from SAP. Default data from SAP here, right? Master client default data will be in the in this two clients here. Okay, this is the client. So here, but we cannot run our business in these two clients. We cannot run our business in these two clients. Why? Because it's provided by the SAP, only SAP data available here. So to create the client, first of all, you need to create the one more client, that is your business client. You need to create the business client. That is our responsibility as a business team. That is our responsibility to create the new client here. That client is either, apart from that, these two clients, any number you can give it, either 100 or 200 or 101, 103, 104, whatever number you can give, the three digits number you can give it, that is called the client. Inside of that client, we have to do the business here. We have to do the business here. So then how to create the client then? How to create the client here? To create the client, how to create the client administration, how to create the new client, then how to log into the how to log into the newly created client, how to log into the newly created client. Why? Because in the default clients, they are the default users. SAP star DDIC will come. We will log into the SAP star DDIC. We will do the our work here, right? In the default clients, default users, we will do the work here. So that we will do it here. But when you create the new client, you will not get any users. You will not get any data. So it's an empty client. Then in this case, so how you will get the all those things here? So there is a procedure to create the client. We have to use the SCC4 is the transaction code for creation of the client. To create the client, so we need to use the SCC4. But here, the for client creation, you need to create the logical systems. Logical systems, you need to define it here. Logical system means to identify the client within the system, we need a logical system. To identify the client within the system, we need a logical systems. We need a logical systems to identify the client. So what is the logical system naming convention here? So the logical system naming convention is here. So client naming convention 000 to 999, any number you can give it. But logical system naming convention is, it's like a SID, CLNT and client number here. SID means, what is the SID here? NWT. CLNT, which client you are creating? 200. Then 200. Like this, you need to create a logical system in sale or in the BD54 transaction code. You need to create the logical systems. You need to create the logical systems here. Sale or BD54, you need to create the logical systems here. Okay. So it kind of information, kind of logical system information. For the client, we need a logical system. Sir, why we need a logical system? To identify the client. So how can we identify it here? How can we identify it here? Identification means, suppose we have the three systems in the landscape. Suppose example, in one ECC landscape or one NetWeaver landscape or one landscape, we have the three systems. We have the development box, we have the quality box, we have the production system, right? We have the three systems. So here you will get the default clients 000, 001. Every system, every SAP system, you will get the default clients. Here also you will get the default clients. Here also you will get the default clients here. So here the SID is the NWD. Maybe this is the development NetWeaver development system. This is the NetWeaver quality. This is the NetWeaver production system here. We have the three systems in the landscape. So this is the NetWeaver business. Okay. So here, so this is the one client. This is the one client. Every system you will get the default clients. That is called the, so 000 001 client you will get, right? So but for every system there is a one own database. Own database. Every system there has the own database is available here. So this SAP system is connected to the here only one database. We have the multiple clients, we can connect it, we can run it. One database, we have the multiple clients in SAP. Multiple clients in SAP here in one database here, right? So in this case, what we can do here, so multiple clients, right? So there is a only one table here. There is a only one table here. In this table, so here only the business data, all the clients related data should store into the only one table here. But here only one table, we have the multiple clients here. Then how it will be? Which means, so that's why to identify the client within the landscape, so we need a logical system here. So based upon the logical system entry, your data will be inserted. Your data will be inserted into the DB level. Suppose example, if you see, so this is the one of the database, big database here, right? So in the big database, there is a one table, there is a full table, there is a table here. In the table, we have the records here, right? So employee name, employee number, then so some other details. We have the details here. Okay, this is the table, right? Table looks like this one. This is the inside of the this one. Like this one table, we have the, so they have the, so multiple tables. There are lakhs of tables are available in the SAP system, right? So we have the SAP system. This is the SAP system here. So in the SAP system, we have the 000 client, 001 client, then 100 client, 200 client. Okay, so we have the clients here. 000 client, 001 client, 100 client, then 200 client here. So what will happen? This is only one database here, only one database here, only one database here, one table here. So in 000, if you create the one entry, same entry, that will go, that will go to the here, that will store the database in, that will store the data, suppose like, so Ravi. So then Ravi password, the password of the Ravi, and so then maybe some different field here, maybe employee number, then here the logical system here. Yeah, the logical system here. So here Ravi logical system means here Ravi, right? 000 client. So NWD CLNT 000 client. So in the 001 also, why? Because user management, users, the data is separate in each and every client. The data is separate. How the data is separated based upon the logical system field here. So in the 001 also, we have the same user. Maybe you can save the different password or same password, then number, then you have the user. But here you have already record is there. Then it will create the one more entry like 001 here. So based upon the logical system, your data will be inserted into the table level. Data will be inserted into the table level here. So if you have the one more entry, so then same client, 100 client, so then same different password, maybe different bank account number, same name, but the thing is here, one is the differentiation here. That's why for every client which is coming here, the 100 client, there is no duplicate. With the same file name, if you don't have the logical system, we have the same name. Every client, we have the same name, same DDIC user, SAP user, or same SAP, same user. Then how the data will be inserted here? Why? Because the first entry will be the same. The secondary entry also same username means definitely it will give the error message like, so user is already exist, right? But that is a different user. But here user management is different. each and every client, the user management is different here. This is the 000 client, this is the 001 client entry, this is the 100 client entry, this is the 200 client entry here, right? But only one table, multiple entries are storing into the table level. So data consistency here. So here, if you have the user here, you cannot access from the 001 client. So in which client you have the access, only you have to log into that client. You need to grab the data from the database level here. Why? Because here the users are client independent. It's not the like client dependent here, which means so within the client only you will get the users, not the all the clients here. One user not don't means not access to the all the clients here. One user is only for one client, right? So it will not get the access to the multiple. So which means if you need access to the, you have the access to the 000 client, 000 client. If you want to access to the 001, then you need same user ID or different user ID in the 001 client also. Means one more user ID is required in the 001 client also here. So that is the reason. That is the reason we have the logical systems field here, right? So to create the client, definitely there is a logical system entry here. To create the logical systems here, we need to go to the sale RBD54 transaction code here. Sale RBD54 transaction code here. System status is not modifiable, which means system is not modifiable to change it here. Already many members are created the okay. So sale or BD54. So which means before you create the client, logical system is very important here. So logical system creation, we have to do it in sale or BD54 transaction code here. Then after that, so client creation, we have to do it in the SEC4 transaction code here, right? So now logical system BD54. If you go to the BD54 or sale transaction code, click on the new entry. Suppose you are going to create the new client that is called the NWD CLNT 200 client. Then NWD 200. So the logical system naming convention should be like this here. SID, CLNT and CLNT and client number here, right? So here we have to create it here. It's already exist. So what I can do here, I can create the 400 client here. Okay, 400 client here. So 400 also exist. Means our guys already created the multiple clients here. Okay, so we have created the client here. You can see NWD CLNT 100, 101, so 200, 250, 300, 400. So multiple logical systems are created by the our guys. So as part of this one here. So sale or BD54, we have to create the new logical system. New logical system entry, you have to create it. So that is for the before you go ahead and create the client here. Just take the copy. Suppose you need to create the suppose 700 client. Then you can just choose the 700. Suppose 700 client you are going to create it. Then maintain the description anything here. Okay. Suppose 900 client I am going to create it here. Just type the 900 here. Save it here. It will ask the transport request number. Save it here. Right, your data got saved here, which means the new logical system entry NWD CLNT 900 got saved here. It got created here. So 900 entry got created here. You can see the 900 entry which you created right now, that got created here. So once the logical system entry got created here, what we have to do, we need to go to the SCC4 is the transaction code. So click on the change button. Okay, change button here. Then click on the new entry. Okay, you have to create the client. You need to go to the SCC4 new entry. What is the client number? Suppose 900 client, right? 900. So what is the client name here? Anything like NWD development client or NetWeaver dev client or quality client or any client you can give it here. City. What is the city of this client here? So Hyderabad. So then what is the logical system here? Here logical system entry you will grab, you will get from the table here. That is called the which you created previously. You will get it out here. So, which means before itself, before creating the client, the logical system entry must and should be required here. So that's why in the sale or BD54, the logical systems we have to create it here. Logical systems we have to create it here. So then after that, the currency. After that, the currency. What is our currency? Our currency is the Indian currency, right? Then we can type the INR, INR to RNR. What is the client role production? So then these are the client settings here. You can save it here. These are the client settings. You can save it. Settings. You can change it here. So okay, this is not the production client here. Some more testing client.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. What is the client role, sir? You're selecting production, testing, something
Yeah,
like that.
client role is like, so it kind of what is the system you are going to create? What is the purpose of this client here? Suppose like, so SCC4, so SCC4, you are not authorized. What is this? Let me log in. Okay. So in SCC4, so SCC4, when you are going to create the client, there is a role, client role here. So you are creating the client, is it a testing purpose or direct production? Production means live business purpose or testing client or demo client or training client. So all the training users you want to create the separate client, that is the training client or whatever the role you have to create it here. The role you have to create it here. NW, so dev training client, something like that. So it's kind of city Hyderabad. So logical system entry. So means when it comes to when you reach to this phase, the logical system must be exist here. That's why we created the first logical system here. Then we browse it. This is the browse button. Just click on this button, you will get the browse button here, right? Then currency. What is the currency of the client here? Is it Indian client, right? Maybe you will get the IND Indian client here maybe. So Indian rupee INR, right? Indian rupee we got it here. So is it a client role? Client role means in our landscape we may have to build the so either development system. How can we say this is the development system, this is the quality system, this is the so production system here? How can we say? Depend on the client role. Depending upon the role, we can say this is the development, this is the quality, this is the production. Depending on the role here, depending upon the client role, we can say this is the development, this is the quality, this is the production, right? So which role? Client role. Then how the system knows? We know you are building the system. The D means development system. We know, but how the system knows? Why? Because same software we will use it for the development, quality, productions. We will use it. Then how the system knows means here the client role will be decide. Okay, this is the development client. This is the quality client. This is the production client. So like this, the role will tell us. Depends upon the role, system will act accordingly. Okay. So these are the client settings here in this client 900 client. So this is the changes of the specific object, client specific. Suppose you want to allow the users to do the changes, then you can make the changes without recording. We want to make the changes in this 900 client without any recording. So it is the production client. We should not allow the direct changes in the production client. Why? Because it will impact the business. So that's why we will close the client settings. How to close the client settings means So here SCC4, here we can change the, so no changes are allowed, no changes here, which means no one cannot perform, no one can cannot perform anything in the in this client here. So why? Because you are closing the settings you are closing, so you cannot do any changes, any object, any screen, any development, anything we cannot directly changes here. So always if you want to do the changes, it should come from development to quality, then quality to production, the request should come here. So production always the client settings should be closed status. The client settings should be closed status, not development and quality. It should be open status here. Quality also it's closed. Only development we have to do the changes, development changes. Quality and production always it should be closed status here. Production and quality always it should be closed status here. That's why we will close it. So it's not the development training, right? Multiple users do the multiple changes. Then we can open the status here. This box is for the client specific object changes. Client specific object changes here, right? And means within this client, if anyone wants to do the some object, if any developer, anyone means now we will not do any changes here. We will not do any developments here in the SAP system. They're the developers. So if they want to perform any developments in the directly in the production, that's not possible, right? We have to go to the development box and there you need to change it. So in this case, it's the development box. You need to open the settings here. This is the client specific. This is the cross client, which means the settings which are there here, it is for the all the clients, not the client specific. This is the client specific. This is the cross client here. Then client copy protection levels, security levels, client copy levels here. So then once you've done it here, then save the client here. So it's saying that be careful when you're changing the logical system. It's very dangerous. So that's why it's saying that. So client got created here. Data was saved here. It got created. Client got created in the system here. You can see client 900 client got created here. Tomorrow, someone asks you to close the changes, then you can close the changes in the two areas. One is the client specific area. So here, why? Because if you clone the changes, if you want to perform the something here, it will not allow you. Suppose example, you can see it here in the 900, you are trying to perform some changes, right? Suppose like BD54, you are trying to do the some editing the changes. It is allowing now. It is allowing now. Why? Because client settings are so open status. If you close it, they cannot do the direct changes here. Normally, in the development, we will open the client settings, quality and production, we will close the settings. So directly users cannot perform anything in the production. But because it's a violation, company violation, they cannot perform any changes in the production directly. That's why we have the development, quality, production concept here, right? So now we have created the client here, right? We have created the 900 client here. Before creating the client, logical systems we created. Logical systems we created here.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So every system we need to create logical system, sir, in PRD quality.
Every system, you have to create the logical systems.
Actually, when we try to create a logical system, they're showing us some TR number. We also import the same TR number to another system for the same.
Another logical systems. Yeah, we can import it. On the development, that's why development we can do the changes. Quality, how can we move we cannot when we are close to the client settings, then how can we move the changes? Means there is a transport request. In the request, we have to add the all the changes, then we can move to the table entry to the here, from here to here. But user directly cannot log into the production, he cannot do the changes. Everything should come from development. How it is coming? So via transport request. Our next topic is the client administration is completed. Then next work is the transport administration. How to move the data from development to quality, quality to production systems here. So why we have to move it? Can't we do the direct changes in the production system? No. Why? Because in the production, business users will log in, they will do the business transactions and everything. One side you are doing the some changes, it will impact the users. That's why we have the So development, quality, production system, all the developments, if you want to do anything here, testing activities here, direct production activities here. So when you are doing the production, you have to close the settings. It's a basis responsibility to close the settings here. To close the settings here. Here you need to close the settings, all the settings you have to close it, or you have to open it here. That is what we have to do here. So now you created the client. So fine, client is created. Then how can we log into the newly created client? That is the big question mark here. How can we log into the newly created? Sir, we can use the SAP star DDIC, right? What is the big question here? Right? So how to log into the newly created client here? So newly created client, how to log into the newly created client, which means apart from that 0000001. Why? Because these users we know, with these clients we know how to log in. Why? Because we have the SAP star DDIC users. We can log in with the password, whatever we given during the installation time. That passwords we can use it, we can log in, right? That passwords we can use it and we can log in here. But here, but here, how can we do now? How can we log into the newly created client? Suppose so 900 client you created here. Suppose like so. Suppose like 900 client you created here. How to log in now? So whenever you go to here you need to type the 900 here, right? Then how to log in? So DDIC, our common password I am using to see, so nothing, because name and password is incorrect. Suppose I will use the one more password, let's see, so nothing here. We cannot log in newly created client. So then how to log into the newly created client? So default clients, default users are available, we can log in. Then how to log into the newly created client? In this client, what we have to do, there is a parameter changes we have to do. There is a parameter changes we have to perform. Now, the topic is like how to do the settings, client settings, means how to do the there is a parameter we need to and changes here. How to log into the newly created means, so there is a parameter, login slash no underscore user automatic underscore SAP star. This equals to 0. We need to change this parameter value and restart the system. Then we can log into the newly created client with SAP star with pass is the password. With SAP star with pass. So we need to enable the emergency user, which means SAP star with pass, we have to enable it here. How to enable means there is a parameters we have to change in the system. There is a parameters we have to change in the system here. So how to change that parameters? Then in this case, one more new topic will come, that is called the profiles and the parameters concept. Profiles and parameters concept. So with this client administration, you will get the two more so subtopics you will get called the profiles and parameters concept here. So in the system. Okay. So shall I explain or will you guys practice the client creations and logical systems creation part?
We practice.
Okay. Is it everybody okay, right? So shall I explain like the profiles and parameter concept? This is also a very big topic and confusing topic.
But we will practice.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, fine. Practice it. So, why? Because client creation, okay. Logical system creation, okay. Then how can we log into the newly created client means? That is the big question right here. So then why? Because SAP star with the SAP star with the common passwords, it won't work. DDIC also it work. Only you created the client, not the users inside of the client. Why? Because users are client specific, means if you are the 000, the 000 users are different in the 00000 users are different. So 900 users are different. Users are different in each and every client. So then how can we log into the newly created client? So we have to enable the emergency user by changing the parameter. So Parameter means the new concept will come like profiles and parameter administration. How many profiles, how to change the parameters, all those things I will explain it. Okay, we'll go slowly, don't worry, but understanding is very important. So what you can do today, create the multiple clients, create the clients and logical systems, and see, then tomorrow we'll go with the how to log into the newly created client. So from here onwards, actual concepts will come, actual useful concepts will come here. Client administration, then RFC administration, profile administrations, then transport administration, operation modes. So many topics will come. So we'll go slowly, but you can also practice the work process related things. Okay.